It is unfortunate that Nigeria is becoming less popular in the world, in Africa, and in the globe. You see, when we talk about leadership, leadership also has to affect the country. When some other people look at your leadership, it affects your country. Look at what Shetima did at the United Nations General Assembly, supporting terrorist organization Hamas over Israel. How he vehemently said that Palestine needed to get independence, not touching the fact that there's a terrorist organization recognized by the world that is in that country. Look at how Nigeria lost out a seat, having a seat at the United Nations Human Rights Council. Smaller African countries got that seat, but Nigeria was disgraced out of that seat. Somebody will be saying, you don't love Nigeria, you don't love Nigeria. No, it is the leaders that don't love Nigeria. It is the leaders that loot our monies and take it out of the country. And these countries that are receiving these monies will see that these guys are bleeding their country. They look at your economy, look at your inflation, look at human rights, how you tolerate the rights of people in your state, in your country. That's how they value you. So I'm not the one that is hating on Nigeria. It is your leaders that is hating on Nigeria with their actions. How would the United Kingdom see Nigeria when Nigeria has everything it needs to set up hospitals? One of the best doctors we have in Europe, in the West today, are from Nigeria. But Nigeria as a country cannot set up hospitals that can cater for the needs of its elite, its leadership. But yet, a Buhari, a Tinubu would jet out of the country to get hospitality in another country. So how would the host country look at you through your leaders? African Union will be choosing a new leader. Nigerian leadership is not part and parcel of the contenders. Nobody is considering Nigeria to head Africa. When Obasanjo was there, we were the pride of Africa. We were called the giant of Africa. But now, nobody send you and your president and your leadership. Nobody's rooting for Nigerian leadership to lead Africa at this point in time. Look at what is happening with ECOWAS. Somebody ascended the throne and almost three to four countries are leaving. A war almost ensued between Nigeria and Niger Republic. Looking at that leadership, nobody's rooting for any Nigerian leader to hold that revered position of the African Union. Kenyans are rejecting their own president, which is Raila Odinga. They said Raila Odinga is a possible puppet of the West. They don't want leadership that would, or leaders that will be swayed and controlled by the West. So they are supporting somebody from Djibouti. 58 years old Mahmoud Ali Yusuf from Djibouti, a country not known, does not have a history, is not popular. This is where Africa is looking for too. This is not an election you do in Nigeria whereby you can play politics, tribalism and influence and whatever. You commandeer the police, the judiciary vote for you, INEC votes for you, then the rest is history. An INEC commissioner will come and announce result and you tell people to go to court. Look at how the world, look at how Africa now sees Nigeria. If you ever hold a green passport and you move out of this country, you understand what I'm saying. So yet again, Nigeria loses this bid. Or is it that Nigerians are not interested, Nigerian leaders are not interested to hold that revered position of the African Union Congress? This is encapsulating all the countries in Africa. Somebody like our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, would not attempt going for that contest because the credibility is not yet ascertained. We cannot say this guy is credible or this guy has shown leadership. It is not by cho-cho-cho, it's not by what you come on social media, you come to say and you come to blast people, gaslight people. This one is beyond gaslighting. This is not Hausa, Igbo and Yoruba, whereby some people will just gang up. They are paid to say all sort of things. This is Africa. competence, capacity, leadership. That is what it is needed. Imagine somebody like a P2B becomes president. I'm not rooting for P2B at this point in time, but imagine looking at the integrity, looking at the competence and capacity of such a person, one would love to support a P2B. Nigeria has the numbers. How many are Kenyans? How many are other countries that they are going to be voting for a Djibouti? How many people are in Djibouti as a country? Even Kenyans are rejecting their own president. South Africans, Algerians, Ghanaians, and even the Burkina Fasos, Nigerians are rooting for this man, this 58, they call him 58-year-old Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, to become the chairperson of the African Union. Please, where is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Where is Jagaban? You see, we are in our own world, and we think that everything that happens in our own world is accepted, generally accepted somewhere else. Our standards are, before we know it, what we are doing here, child's play, will destroy ourselves. The negligence of voting competent leaders against tribe or affiliation would eventually destroy us as a people, not as a, whether you are outside Igbo Yoruba, you are feeling the pain, you are feeling the hardship, you are feeling the biting economy. You see, the only thing that leadership represents in Nigeria is lies, propaganda, manipulation. Somebody said one thing, that fraudsters, Yahoo boys are getting into politics. Imagine a party like the APC. Imagine the kind of people that will become party members in APC that are vying for posts. Imagine somebody like MC Oluomo writing a book and telling us about how he contributed to the Lagos economy and Nigeria at large. Imagine MC Oluomo. Well, his children went to school. We understand that. He used the opportunity that Tinubu gave him to send his children to school. But what legacy would an MC Oluomo add to Nigeria as a country, even Lagos State? Some people, they see truth and they run away from truth because of tribal sentiment, because of my brother, my clan, my club, my political party is there. Tiwa, that is what is destroying Nigeria little by little. Look at how the Muslim ticket is disgracing Nigeria at the world stage. Shetima went on to say Palestine. Now we are asking the question, that statement by Shetima saying that they should give Palestine freedom after the state harbors terrorists. What makes Palestine is Hamas. Hamas and Palestine cannot be separated. You are supporting a terrorist organization to have independence. To have independence. Never looking at the attacks of October 7th, how these terrorists have been planning to cause mass genocide on the Israelis. You see Nigeria as a secular country, you went and you disgraced the country outside. No wonder Human Rights Council, we had a seat there before. 2020, we were there. Now to re-elect new people, Nigeria could not. They said Nigeria got 4 votes. Somebody from the presidency came out and debunked and said that Nigeria was not part of those that contested for that seat. Now they asked him, when you go to United Nations website, Nigeria got 4 votes. Is it possible for somebody to get votes if he doesn't participate in an election? So, leadership in Nigeria, propaganda, lies, corruption, gaslighting. There's no leadership. Look at what the former vice president said. Professor Yemi Osinbajo, he said, it is hard for you to see integrity in leadership today. There's no integrity. Now he's asking for integrity. He said even those that are corrupt are looking for people with integrity to run their business, not people that have political sense, that have criminal and corrupt manners. It is people with integrity. The politicians, the evil people, the looters, the criminals. They even want somebody with integrity to run the organization. That's how Nigerians left somebody with integrity and they went for somebody else who they felt because he's from a tribe, and they voted him or they supported him one way or the other for sentiment. About votes, I believe that Nigerians didn't really vote for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Let's give it to Nigerians. They did not really vote for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu got into power, they re-engineered themselves and they started playing games. They started playing on the minds of people. They started a media war. First, you denigrate the Igbos. Second, you bastardize the obedient movement. Fourth, Third, attack the person of Peter Obi, make him look stupid in the eyes of his followers and other people. Trigger tribal and ethnic war among them. Now, when this was achieved by the Tinubu's administration within a year, some people started hating Peter Obi and started saying that they prefer a Tinubu, that they dodged a bullet. So we support evil leadership. How can Africans take us serious as human beings? You cannot imagine what other African countries are saying about Nigeria and their presidents. Anytime we have a banter with Ghana, with Cameroon, and they are attacking their presidents, or a Cameroonian is attacking your president, you hear what he will say. It shows that you don't have a leadership. What leadership would Nigeria present to the African Union? From what stance? What level? Where is the experience? What is it? What? The world now is a global village. It is not like those days whereby some newspaper will just stay inside one 2-bedroom and start printing and preaching and be determining what people will think. They will determine the truth. They will hide the facts, and they will sell to you what they want to sell to you. Social media is a leveler. So everything happening in Nigeria today, people are watching and looking at it. Why is it that investors are not coming into Nigeria yet? Manufacturers are crying to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, help us. Companies are closing. Companies, we cannot, the price of diesel and fuel cannot help us sustain our trade, our manufacturing. Sales are going down, and we are expected to pay high salaries. Manufacturers are groaning. This is the first time they are groaning under Tinubu's regime. And you don't think that African countries are watching how a country so blessed with so much mineral resources cannot afford to maintain? You know what it is? You know, sometimes we don't know the gravity of some of these things that are happening. With all the engineers we have from UI, from Covenant University, with all the engineers we have from Unilag, and name first 10 best universities in Nigeria. Greatest Gbogbo. Your country cannot service a refinery. Greatest engineering Gbogbo. I got first class in engineering, petrochemical engineering. I got first class in Nigeria. Yet your country could not even maintain 5 refineries that was built for them largely by the expertise of an Oyibo person. With all your school, with everything you went to, there's nothing to show for it. I don't care whether you have first class. You're just like somebody who recites something that's been written down. People that cram, la pour. What are the inventions? Even those that are inventing the little they are inventing, is the government supporting them? Do you have a leadership? With all the professors, look at Soludo, central bank governor. They sold us a lie that he was this, he was that, he could do this. He's a technocrat. He's a technocrat this, he's a technocrat that. Look at what is happening in Anambra State. A shame. After 8 years, a shame. Nothing to show for it. I think after 4 years, nothing to show for it. With all the professor, you professor up and down, you speak baby grammar up and down. All you have to do is lie to people. You don't show workings. So who would take you serious at the international level? Who would take Nigeria serious? Those that are saying that I'm not praying for the... In fact, you don't want the success of Nigeria more than I. For those that know me, I supported I still believe till today that Nigeria could work if we practice true federalism. But we cannot practice true federalism, my brother. We cannot. It's not possible with the crop of demons, of evil people that we have in power. We cannot practice true federalism, because if we could achieve that, at least 70-80% true federalism, Nigeria will be a very good place to be. But yet, since we could not practice it, that's why I'm supporting regionalism or even balkanization of the country. There's no two ways about that. It is a shame that at this point in time, we cannot present leadership to the African community. We were once called the Big Brother Africa, giant of Africa. We once called that. But what would the South Africans call us? What would the Cameroonians call us? What would the Ghanaians call us? What would the Nigerians call us? Because we decided to present and support somebody who is not worthy of giving good governance to the people. He can function in some other area, which we know. There are areas that these guys that are in power can function. But when you talk about leadership, integrity, competence, good governance, they can never give you good governance. It is not in their nature, it is not in their style for Nigeria to work. Look at the Dangote wanting to make monopoly of the oil sector. Marketers importing fuel, crude oil, whether I don't know, because I'm tired of the whole thing. How would you be seen as a Nigerian now? It is just the few people, footballers, musical artists, content creators, other people that are making Nigerian proud. But it is the leadership. If you have headed an organization before, you understand that leadership first. So don't start blaming Nigerians that Nigerians are the problem. No, Nigerians is not the first thing you look at. You look at leadership. When there's leadership, some things will be put in place. If Nigeria has good leadership and the institutions are repaired, institutions are working, and true federalism is being practiced, my brother, you would love to stay in Nigeria, but it is not possible because of tribalism. The more reason why I'm rooting for Biafra or regionalism. That is why I'm rooting for. Because, let me be sincere with you, even we have Oduduwa today, some of the problems we're having currently in Nigeria today will be transferred to the Oduduwa. And same thing as Biafra and Arewa. But I want my brother, I can look at him in the eyes when we have Biafra and tell him that you cannot come and be practicing a class society here. Because the real problem that Nigerians have is class society. The rich and the poor, the upper class and the lower class. That's the main problem Nigeria has. But we cannot come together at a consensus to fight these people that have put us in bondage because of tribalism. So tribalism should lead to our division, our regional system of government, whereby everybody stays in his region and competition will make us move at a faster pace. Then we can produce good leaders that can represent us at the African Union. Somebody like Tinubu, some people have said it, that cannot head an Oduduwa nation. They know true leaders, they know leaders that are capable. But yet some people, because of their evil mind, I said bigotry is a cancer. It's like a demon. Anybody you see that has bigotry, run away from that person. If your brother or sister, I'm Igbo, if I have a bigot who is my brother, I'm saying same family, I will try and stay away from that person. I will stay away from that person, because bigotry does not look at brother, sister. It is hatred from somebody that is not your kind. Even up to the fact that I am standing here, you are standing there. I hate you because you are there and I'm here. Now people are expressing their bigotry because they see a difference, which is you are not Yoruba, you are not Igbo. That is why they can express their bigotry. Because of bigotry, we cannot practice true federalism. We cannot bring out good leaders. Because of bigotry and tribalism, that's why we have the likes of Tinubu, the likes of Emsolomo, charging the economy of Lagos State, having an influence much more than people that actually went to school, actually studied, got their PhDs and all have you. That's why we have refineries cannot work. That's why we have Ajaokuta still will still be there with all the engineers, copy and paste. All the engineers with whatever you are learning in the university does not concern me. For the fact that with all of us coming together, we could not fix anything in our country. Your education is useless. I know pride will make you not listen to this broadcast. You can leave the broadcast because you are not adding up. You are not adding up. The Bible, God told Adam, subdue, replenish the earth. Make the earth a better place. With your school, no wonder you are being rejected. Change the country, change the system. No one here. More disgrace from these African people. Just Djibouti. Djibouti, that small country, is the one that is going to produce the next African Union leader. The last time they took Nigeria to court, Nigeria lost now because Nigeria don't know what it is, what human rights is like. Somebody said something that the police has never won a case. EFCC has never won a case. These are regulatory bodies. These are people that are supposed to be like the best of the best should be in such ministries, such agencies and organizations. But yet, the people are the ones telling them how to do their job. Hi, Nigeria. Who has done this to you? Nigeria. Who has done this to you? In our next broadcast, we'll be talking about how Nigeria is borrowing money. And this money we are borrowing will now put us in bondage for the next 30 to 40 years. Which will make it difficult for the United Nations, because the World Bank, an affiliation of the United Nations, to want to have to listen to agitators such as Oduduwa, Biafra, and the likes. Stay tuned for the next broadcast.